Hi all, it's currently 4 minutes past midnight, so 0004 on the 24th of the 9th, 2025. It just turned the 24th. I was in a call with my girlfriend there for a bit, and we were in a call for over an hour. So it's funny, I woke up around half 10 after having a little a nap, and I was like, right, I'm gonna try get up, I'm gonna try like do stuff, and then I called my girlfriend, and we were together we were in a call for over an hour, so whoops. So, you know, now 5 past 12. I'm gonna try and record this as best I can. Mm. Okay, I'm gonna keep yawning, so I apologize for that. So yeah, today was okay. Last night and yesterday actually, I woke up around. I woke up early, so I woke up around like 4 or 5 or something like that, or even earlier, like 3 or something like that. But I woke up, played some games, and I went to sleep around 9 or 10, and get I was able to sleep and get back awake around 12. Um, so I had basically the whole day to do stuff. So that was nice actually. That was really really nice. It was nice and refreshing because I normally like if I fall asleep in the morning, I won't wake up till like 4 or 5. You know, um, which is normally quite annoying, but it was different yesterday and today, so that was nice. Also, when I say today, I mean the 23rd. My family and I have this thing where it's like we don't count it as a new day until the morning, So it's like if we say like 2 a.m. If we say oh tomorrow what's happening, um, we still mean like if today is that same day technically, like later that day. Um, and I have some friends that do the other way. They sort of like they say if you say tomorrow, they'll look at the time currently and base it off that. Um, but no, I try to like. I don't think it's a new day really until a bit philosophical. I don't think it's a new day really until you get up for it. Um, so what have I spent today doing? I spent today. I beat Borderlands 4. In one of my vlogs last week, I talked about, or I opened it up and I beat it, and it was really, really fun. Um, I'd say overall, I'd give the game currently, like the release game, a week after, I give it like an 8, maybe a 7 out of 10, like 7.5 out of 10. The biggest problem with it now is performance, and the performance is killing the rating. Like I'd say it's like 1.5 of those marks is just performance because it's so drastically bad, you know. Like I have a pretty old PC. I think this is over like what year is it? 2025. I think I've had this for like 9 years now, something like that. But it's a good PC. It's like i7 and stuff like that. Um, it's an i7 and it's good. It's a good PC. It can run most of the games I want it to run. But in the recent year, uh, I tried to play Monster Hunter Wilds, and that was a mess. That just didn't work at all. I managed to beat that, but I played the entire thing with PlayStation 2 graphics. PlayStation 1 graphics, actually. I have screenshots of that somewhere where it literally I would load into a world, I would talk to whoever, and they would look like a play worse than a PlayStation 1 character because at least a PlayStation 1 character was modeled with those graphics in mind. So it was horrendous, and it was like generally I was fighting these big bosses, these big massive bosses and monsters at like a constant 30 FPS or lower. So that sucked. And then I thought it'd be the same for Borderlands 4, but Borderlands 4 so far hasn't been as bad. It's bad obviously, but a combination of I've sort of just gotten used to it, because it's a consistent bad, and the lows aren't as low. So it's like the lowest, like sometimes it'll freeze up for like for a couple seconds, and that's annoying. Like, so maybe I'm in the middle of a fight and it freezes up because, for those who don't know, Borderlands 4 is a looter shooter FPS, that sort of RPG sort of game. It's fun, it's the fifth game in the franchise. Yeah, it's the fifth game in the franchise, and it's fun. I really loved the other Borderlands, but this one I was really excited for, and I was worried. And as soon as the performance like dipped so low, I was like, "Oh God, oh no!" So it's not. It's like you can deal with it if you really want to, but I understand if people don't. Also, I don't think it's that bad on console. I think it's only an issue really on PC. I think on console it's okay, but it's still like unacceptable. A as the as what Randy Pitchford said, a premium game for premium gamers, and it's not the fault of the game, it's the fault of the hardware, and it's like, shut the fuck up. Like, no, it's the game. It's the game in its entirety. There are some things that just lag, and you're like, why is this doing this? It shouldn't be lagging, but what can you do? But no, it's fun. The story's pretty good. It's a much darker tone, which is, and even some of the side quests are very like, ugh, um, yeah. I did a side quest there earlier today, because I got to the post game and I was looking for ways to level. I was like, I might do side quests, I probably will end up doing a side quest and just exploring. But like literally the one side, it's funny. I picked up one side quest and I was like, whoa, this is dark. And then I picked up a second side quest that had a character related to and responsible for something bad happening in the other side quest. Um, Funny enough, their name was Leopold. So I was very, and I'm Leo. So I was like, uh-oh. I was very annoyed at that. A character, I was like, oh, if I can murder them in the game, I will. If I can figure that out, I will. Um, but yeah, no, I was like, goddamn. Um, but yeah, so it's much darker story, but I feel like the main story towards the end sort of drops the ball a little. The main villain starts to feel less like a threat towards the end, and it's cool. Like the fights are really cool. The boss fights, the guns, they feel really nice. But towards the end, it felt like a bit of a slog. Because I was playing the game on hard, and towards the end of the game, the enemies started getting up to level like 40 or something like that, and I was like, God, this is difficult. I was getting downed by basic enemies because I was severely underleveled, but it wasn't giving me a lot of XP. Basically the stuff was designed the game to make you want to go back and do side quests. But I don't know. I just feel it's a bit like I wanted to do like mobbing. Mobbing is basically killing mobs. I wanted to focus on killing enemies and progressing through the game naturally and just leveling up through the main story because I wanted to get to the end game, right? I wanted to beat the story and then explore and do stuff. But I felt a bit limited. Now I did have to have the difficulty on hard, and I could have knocked it down to normal, but I wanted to try it on hard just to see what it's like because I think you also get like rewards for playing on higher difficulties. Plus there's something called UVHM, Ultimate Vault Hunter mode, where I think it automatically set you to hard, and then it adds more difficulties on top. So it's sort of like there's no point in me playing in normal because I'm gonna be playing on hard anyway. When I use UVHM because that comes with a bunch of bonuses. Um, but yeah, no, it just like the difficulty spike. I won't even call it spike. It was just the way they designed the game so that it was encourage you to go back to do quests and stuff to try and level up. I get it, but also the way you level up currently in the game is so slow if you're trying to do it efficiently. Because if you get no experience in boss fights, basically no experience. So you have to sort of fight normal enemies. But if you fight normal enemies, you're just doing quite monotonous stuff, you know. But if you try to do all the quests to level up, then that could take you like hours and hours and hours and hours and hours, you know, way more, like double the amount of hours it takes to just do mobbing, you know. So it's strange. I hope they fix the XP a bit, because it feels like my biggest problem with like guns and stuff, oh not guns, with like RPGs in general is I know that if I get something early on, later on it's going to be basically useless. So I can just get rid of it, you know? So if I find a cool gun or cool weapon or something cool right now, there's no point in me getting attached to it because I know I'm just going to get rid of it when I get to max level, you know? Because it's not going to be level 50, it's going to be like level 25 or something. And that sort of sucks, you know? So I'd rather like get to level 50, which is currently the max. I'd rather get up to level 50 and get the good stuff, you know, because I know at that stage I won't have to worry about you know, my guns suddenly start being bad, you know, because I got to leveled up, you know, it's supposed to be a good thing. As I said, the story is very much darker, um, much darker. There's a lot of tone setters, which is how I can put it lightly. Um, for what the story is like. And now there's a lot of it's very whimsical. Borderlands in general is a very whimsical game, a very whimsical series where it's like, you know, a joyful game would be like, oh, we're so happy, everything's so happy, you know. A sad and depressing game would be like, everything's so sad and emo and depressing. Where whimsical is sort of like in between, but it's sort of like it makes fun. It's like, oh, we're sad, you know, that sort of way. Oh, death, you know. Um, Sort of like Hearthstone. Hearthstone, in a way, like it has like, you know, the Death Knight, you know, is based on World of Warcraft, you know, so it's based on like the undead scourge versus like the demons versus like the whole world, you know, and the orcs versus humans and the war of like racism and all that sort of stuff, you know. But they're all very whimsical in Hearthstone. They're like, you know, you'll have undead, you know, skeletons giving these little quips, you know, and these like funny little voice lines, which is cool, you know, because it makes it fun and enjoyable. And for the most part, Borderlands is that, you know, like there's a quest in Borderlands 2, and it's literally shoot this guy in the face, you know, and you have this guy, and he's like, shoot me in the face, you know, he's yelling at you, shoot me in the face, not on the arms, not on the legs, not on the body, the face, you know, and he's like, and then as soon as you do it, he goes, thank you, as he dies, you know, and it's funny, you know, that stuff is funny. But Borderlands 4 really turned it up. There's some quests, but Borderlands 4 sort of like turned down the whimsy a little bit and turned up the seriousness. And I don't know how to feel about that because um, to an extent, if you want a more serious story, that's good because it makes the characters more impactful. Like you see, like the story I did, the side quest I did earlier, it made one of the bosses feel way more like a threat. But I already killed that boss, you know? Um, and then it also felt a bit like draining. Because, you know, if you play the game multiple times and you go back and do a side quest, right? You're like, you don't want to see the same sad thing again. You'd rather see something funny, you know? So, like, that's why I think his name is Face McShooty or something like that, and Borderlands 2 is so popular because people are like, I can't wait to do that side quest, you know? But, like, I don't know. I don't think there's a couple side quests in Borderlands 4 where I'm like, are people going to be excited to do this? You know, I don't think so. I don't think so. You know, it's a bit of an emotional toll. Quite a few of the quests are, yeah. And currently, there's no way to like skip through the dialogue. You can skip through cutscenes, but you can't skip through dialogue, which is annoying because when you consider that dialogue, how the game is built and how the dialogue is sort of linked to a bunch of the scenes and the movements and the actions and stuff like that, it makes sense. But Yeah, I don't know. Also, like most of your buttons are just like you can't do like space as jump, so you can't really have that set as skip dialogue, you know. So it's a bit strange. Maybe they could do something where where when the character is speaking, if you press a button on them, maybe you can cancel their dialogue, or you can skip it, or maybe they have a dedicated button, or maybe if you press two buttons at the same time, I don't know. Something like that would be nice to skip dialogue, because sometimes I'm like, oh god, this is annoying, you know. Or I'd rather not hear like a guttural scream again. You know, that's very draining. But so far, but other than all that, you know, the guns feel very fun. The characters are hilarious. You know, they're like the four Vault Hunters, the four playable characters. They're all incredible. They're so cool. They're actually really fun. I've played Rafa, and I beat the game with Rafa, and uh, I have another playthrough with Amin. Um, and they're fun. They're really fun characters. They have a bunch of really fun quips. Their stories make sense. Some of the other characters in the game are really, really cool. There's a couple of returning characters that are really cool. And overall, the story it gets a bit confusing. That's putting it lightly. But it's a big setup story, which is strange, considering that Borderlands 3 was supposed to be like a setup for Borderlands 4, and we thought, oh, Borderlands 4 would be the big thing. But no, they're sort of set up for like I don't know if we're gonna get Borderlands 5 if they set up for, or if they're setting up for like um another offshoot game or DLC or something like that. I don't know. It just feels a bit. I don't know. It's strange what they're doing, you know. But yeah. So it's strange. It's weird, but I'm interested to see what they do. But I'm also a bit worried because I feel like the Borderlands series is gonna start to get a bit dated, you know. So I think they need to start. They sort of realized that, and they tried to make the story more interesting and engaging. In Borderlands 3, people didn't like that, so they kind of doubled down a little bit by making the story much more interesting, but overall better, I'd say, in Borderlands 4. The biggest issue though is replaying the game. It's just going to. I feel like it's going to suck. You know. In like old games, old Borderlands, if you replayed the game, you're like, okay, this is whatever. I can skip the story and I can start at level 30. Where in Borderlands 4, I feel like I'm sort of missing out because there's so many character specific quotes. Like in old games, you would always be called Vault Hunter. You'd never be called anything else. Whereas like in Borderlands 4, they actually say the characters' names. The amount of times my character is referred to as Rafa, you know, his actual name. They didn't say Vault Hunter, they said Rafa, and I was like, whoa, this is weird, you know. And I want to see like what's like when do they say Vex? Do they say Harlow? Do they say Amin? Like, you know, stuff like that. It's really cool. You know, it's really interesting. And so like I feel like I'm missing that out, and also I'd be missing the character specific quotes because they're a lot more talkative now. And it feels like these Vault Hunters have much bigger impact in the story than like even Borderlands 2, you know. But yeah, that's sort of like sort of like my overall thoughts and impressions on Borderlands 4. I'm going to keep playing it. I want to see where it goes. I'm loving the game so far. Um, Absolutely adoring it, and I really want to see where it goes in the future. In the future, apologies. Um, really excited for that. I do need to put ointment on. I need to take some Movicol. I'm getting a bit itchy. Um, as for if when it comes to actually, I probably should have did a bit of a warning there. When it comes to the hemorrhoids, which is what this is sort of about. I think this vlog is starting to turn into more of just a general vlog, but the hemorrhoids, fair warning, I guess. I'll just do the hand thing again. Where's my other hand? I'll do the hand thing again. So you know, if when I raise my hands again, I will be I'll finish talking about it. But basically, the hemorrhoids, they're okay. They're just kind of itchy now, which is sort of annoying, but I've sort of been dealing with it. Tours have been going to tours has been okay. It's not been too bad. Uh, Warning, a little bit of a warning here. There's been a bit of blood. Ever since I started taking the Movicol again, it's been difficult. My body's been trying to readjust to it because I was off it for an entire week, because I didn't have any. So my body's been trying to adjust to it, but it's been a bit difficult. So we'll see. Going to try, but hopefully it's okay. Hopefully. And then hands again, yay. So hopefully that'll get better. Um, but yeah, I think I'll leave it there. I also know I owe. I say I owe. I don't owe anything, but it's like I think I should probably. I wanted to do a longer vlog. Also, my girlfriend wants to see a longer vlog. Hi, hun. um, yeah, so I want to do a longer vlog because in general, a lot of the vlogs have been much shorter and much like to the point. Have been 3 or 4 minutes. Like I think I did the one yesterday was like, what was that one? Let me check that real quick. Oh, I've got hiccups. That one was MD 39. That was 42 seconds of me in bed. Like, what am I doing? But I was exhausted. I was just like, oh, I need to say something. you know. But I'm here. So I want to do a longer vlog. When I have actually something to talk about. Mm. Daily content is difficult. But you know what? I'll leave it there. I'm gonna go and sort my stuff out. I'm gonna go try and relax a bit. I'm gonna go and hopefully try sleep again. But if not, I'll be playing Borderlands 4. But yeah, I'll leave it there for now. Thank you all so much for watching. It's been a pleasure. My pleasure, your pleasure. I don't know. It's a saying. Yeah, I'll see you all hopefully tomorrow.